Hello Stampers, welcome to another episode of Card Play. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful, very simple card with a technique called Poppin Pastels. So let's get started. We're going to begin with a piece of very vanilla cardstock. This piece is actually 10 inches by 5 inches and I scored it down the middle at 5 inches, so we have a 5 by 5 card size. You're going to need your medallion stamp and also your Versamark stamp pad, the watermark ink. What we're going to do is place this on a piece of scratch paper and we're going to go ahead and ink up our stamp. You can see this is a well-loved stamp. The best way to ink up these very large stamps is to just put them upside down and then put the ink directly onto the stamp. So ink that up. And then we're just going to stamp this stamp a little bit off center here. I don't want it as the central image, just a little bit off center and down. And with these large stamps it can help sometimes to stand up and give it a whole bunch of pressure and lift. And that's kind of hard to see right now, but don't worry, the magic of Poppin Pastels is going to help us reveal that gorgeous image. So we're going to take our Stampin' Pastels and I'm going to use two of our current colors. We're going to use the chocolate chip and we're also going to use rose red. And I have two sponge daubers that I have for these specific colors so that I don't mix them up and get them muddy looking. So we're going to start with a little bit of the chocolate chip. You're just going to take your sponge dauber and rub it in your chocolate chip, and then in a pouncing motion you're just going to start to pounce on that image and you can start to see it showing up. So you just want to pick up some more chalk, and this is random. You don't have to do this in any defined order, but I'm just randomly putting the chocolate chip on and then I'm going to come back and put some of the rose red on. And you can go over the same area a couple of times if you want to deepen the darkness of the color. I'm going to pick up the rose red, whoops, try to pick it up, and pick up some of that color and then come back in here with the rose red and do the exact same thing with the red as I did with the chocolate chip. And we're going to keep going with this, again pouncing, until we've got the entire image colored. Now you notice that there's some extra chalk here. What I like to do is just take a paintbrush and I like to brush that extra chalk just off. And the other thing that comes with your chalks is an eraser. Whoops. And so you can use this if you want to get a little bit more defined around the edges. You can use your chalk eraser to try to pick off some of that extra color. So the next thing I'd like to do with this card is take our color spritzer, and I'm going to take the chocolate chip marker. You're going to want to use the brush end of this marker, and this is a great tool. You just put your marker into this slot and tighten it up. And then you're going to hold this horizontally, so you want your pen horizontal, and you're going to squeeze this bulb, and you can see it's laying down color in a really nice scattered fashion. Gives it kind of an antique look. If you wanted to add a little bit of rose red with the spritzer, you can do that as well. I like to do a little bit on the inside of the card to also give that a little bit of interest. So we'll give that a little spray and a little bit of a spray on the inside of the card for interest. So we're off to a great start with this card. The next thing I want to work on is this greeting here. So let's go ahead and grab the greeting, which comes from Sincere Salutations, and it's the birthday wishes stamp that we're going to work with. We're going to come back again with our two different colors. If you can notice, this greeting is both rose red and chocolate chip. I want to show you how to do that. And you're going to use a piece of cardstock that's 1 inch by 3 1/4 inches. So to make this a two-tone greeting, we're just going to turn that over. We're going to take our lighter color, which is our rose red, and just color the top half of this stamp. And you don't have to be neat with this, just make sure you cover all of the swirls of the letters. And then we're going to come in with the brush side of our chocolate chip marker and get the bottom part And again, you can overlap a little bit. Great. And we're just going to stamp that right in the middle of this piece of paper. And if you've let this dry a little bit, you can give it a huff and then stamp it. That way it wets it just a little bit. And there we go. To make this lovely edge on our greeting, we're going to use Stampin' Up's round tab punch. This is a great punch. You can do all sorts of wonderful things with just one punch. So we're going to use this punch in a little bit different way. We're going to take our 1-inch strip and bring it in on the side, and we're going to place it up just evenly there. And you can actually bring the tip of this point right to the edge of your cardstock and punch, and look at that lovely edge we get. And then we're going to go ahead and do that to the other side as well. And you want this to be exactly 1 inch, because if not, you're going to get a little bit of extra on your greeting, which actually is fine. Or if your hand isn't steady, like mine is shaking right now, it's okay if we get this little extra edge, because we can fix that. We can just come in with our sanding block and go ahead and give it a little bit of sanding to even out that edge. And we can do it here if we're perfectionists as well. No problem. Take some chocolate chip ink, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to sponge those edges to give them a little bit of interest and texture. And I'm thinking I may actually want to come in a little bit from this edge. That doesn't look too even to me. So let's go ahead and just do a quick chomp of that edge. And then we'll come back in. Oh, I feel better already. And let's go ahead and just ink that up. Great. And now what we're going to do is take our medallion stamp again, and we're just going to ink up a little part of it with a rose red ink. So just a little bit of it over here. Great. And then I don't want that color at full intensity, so I'm just going to take a scrap piece of paper and press down so that I get that full intensity off of there. And then I'm going to take my tag, and what I want to do is put a little flourish in this corner. So I'm just going to kind of line it up here and press down with my fingers. Yes, this is a little messy. It's okay, you can wash your hands later. But just to give it that little flourish there. And then I'm also going to want to create a flourish in this upper corner, so we'll use this one this time. And again, just press down a bit on that ink. Great, looking really pretty. And now, of course, we want to add a little bit of spritz. So we're going to take our spritzer tool once again and give a little bit of a spritz of chocolate chip ink to make this match very nicely our card. Great. So we're going to go ahead and take some dimensionals, and we are going to tuck our greeting wherever you'd like it, kind of like it there. Great. And the last piece is to add our bow. So we're going to take some very vanilla satin ribbon. We're just going to create a quick little knot, just like so. And we're going to take our scissors and give that a little bit of a snip. And I'm actually going to snip this side going the opposite direction. Great. There we go. Create a nice little knot. And then to adhere that knot to the card here, we're just going to use a mini glue dot. So let's grab one of those. These are very easy to use. So you just want to take your mini glue dot, press your embellishment against it. It picks up your mini glue dot, and then find the place where you'd like your embellishment and stick. And there you have it, a beautiful card using the Poppin Pastels technique. Super simple to make, but a huge effect when somebody receives this in the mail. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Card Play. I look forward to seeing you again soon here in the craft room.